What can you do to make the hiring process easier? Welcome to Mitsuoka Company YouTube channel. So for those of you who do not know who we are a recruiting company and we have 5 stars on Google reviews. And I am personally lucky to work for such an amazing company. Mitsuoka Company aren't just experts in hiring, but we also train other businesses on how to hire. This means that we use tested and proven methods that actually deliver results. I spend a lot of time interviewing recruiters, and I have noticed that there is a common thread when it comes to businesses and doing mistakes when they hire. And by mistakes, I mean decisions that prolong the hiring process in finding the best candidates. Today, I am going to give you really important information because ultimately your team is your business. But being able to retain high performers is one of the key ingredients to a successful business. Before we move forward, I do highly recommend that you hop onto our YouTube channel and take a browse on our playlist. There is a ton of informational and educational material for your business and of course tips and tricks on hiring. Okay, let's get into it. Here are the steps that you can take to make your hiring process easier. Number 1, being open-minded. When looking for a candidate, you may have a clear idea of what you're looking for. Having a vision, of course, is really important. But one of the common threads that I have found when I have interviewed recruiters is that unfortunately, it can end up happening that a lot of business owners aren't always as open-minded, especially when it comes to hiring people with potential. The truth of the matter is you will never find the perfect candidate. We're human beings, we're flawed. We have pros and cons to every aspect of our personality and of course skills. But seeking a candidate with potential can really turn things around. When you're closed-minded, of course, you can overlook, prejudge, or completely shut down to the idea of a candidate that has potential, somebody who is willing to learn and grow within your business. Ultimately, this candidate could really turn out to be more suited, especially in the long run. Number 2, willing to make changes. Let's just say you find the perfect candidate, but when it comes to company culture, they don't quite fit in. But your company culture has been the same for the last 20 years. So maybe it's not that the candidate doesn't fit in with your company culture, but maybe your company culture might need an upgrade. Some changes are necessary for your business to grow and, of course, to increase the chances of your business success. The truth of the matter is that change is uncomfortable, it's growth, but it is also necessary. So I've actually interviewed a few recruiters and a couple of them have told me the same thing. They have found the perfect candidate for the job who would really help the business grow. However, the business owner didn't want to adapt their company culture. So in this situation, of course, changing a little bit of your company culture to suit the new candidate isn't really going to hurt you. It's probably time to take some small risks and look at some new opportunities. The other thing I want to point out is that company culture is really important, more so to the employee than the employer. So in a situation where you are hiring somebody who is a high performer, who is going to deliver for your business, maybe it's time to do some changes and welcome the new employee. Number 3, qualifications aren't everything. Hiring the right candidate isn't just about someone looking good on paper. Yes, of course, qualifications are important, but somebody who is willing to grow, to learn, and to be a team player might just be a little more crucial. I'll give you an example. So think about it. You hire somebody who has 20 years experience and they're amazing at what they do. However, they've worked for the same company for the last 20 years and you just hired them in your company. They are used to doing things a certain way, and when you introduce them to your methods, to your way of doing things, well, you might encounter some resistance. They may be unwilling to adapt or to change their old ways. Or you could hire somebody who isn't as qualified, but is more enthusiastic about learning, who is a team player, and who is very passionate about your business. This is something, of course, you have to assess for yourself, but it's something for you to think about. Number 4, updated process. When was the last time you updated your hiring process? So if you're having issues with retaining staff, or you are noticing that you hire people but they don't last very long within the company after a year or so that you've hired them, this might be the time to take a look at your hiring process and see if it needs an upgrade. How many steps is in your process from reading the CV to the in-person interview? Do you have a phone interview, a questionnaire? Do you have well thought out questions? Do you have structure and consistency? Maybe it's time to consult a professional and review your hiring process and see if there is anything that can be changed, adjusted, or upgraded. By investing in your hiring process, you can actually save a lot of money. Number 5, getting to know the candidate on a personal level. When you go through the interview process, you actually want to get to know the candidate a little bit on a personal level. What are their goals? Do they achieve and complete their goals? So here's a story about one of our recruiters. So one of the things that we do here at Mitsuoka Company is that, of course, we really like to get to know our candidates. And the reason for that is because it really tells you a lot about the person and how they're ultimately going to perform in the job. For instance, we had a candidate who told us a story of their weight loss. And as you know, losing weight isn't an easy journey, but they set out a specific goal, they made a plan, and they executed it. So what this tells us is that this person is a person of their word. When they set their mind to something, they accomplish it, especially something as challenging as that. Even though this has nothing to do with the job itself, it says a lot about the person's character and, of course, personality. Number 6, test the candidate. Look, it's really important to know if the candidates are going to be consistent and genuine. So how do you do that? How do you determine this? Okay, for instance, the job requirement is that they need to follow up with clients. What you can do is you can ask them to call you at a certain date and time. Now here's the trick. You do not send them a message or a reminder of the appointment. You want them to take initiation, write it in their diary, and all you need to do is let them know that they need to call you at this time. So it's a verbal agreement on your behalf. Or for instance, they need to have really good people skills. Well, this is where you need to be smart about the questions that you ask them. And for instance, you can ask them of a case scenario that they have encountered in the past where they have been challenged, and how did they resolve it? What did they do to overcome this challenge? But above all, you also want to ask them at a time that they failed. And how did they handle that? That will tell you a lot about a person. So take some time today to think about the areas of your business where you might need to make some adjustments. Invest in your business by taking the time to grow and learn. Take a look at what is holding you back. And of course, don't be afraid to get feedback from your employees, candidates, and other professionals. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. If you would like us to help you find the perfect candidate, or if you would like us to train your team on how to hire, you can click the description box below, or you can go to our website for more information. Mitsuoka Company, the best recruiting business, period.